What it is, y'all, it's your old boy Pilg, and I swear we're going to get through all of these by at least tomorrow afternoon. I've got a load ahead of me, and I swear we're going to do this. I swore I was going to do it before vacation and release them in increments, and just life happens. Then I got sick, and oh my god. So we've got a full night ahead of us, and I am bound and determined to get these out for you guys. If you guys are looking for teams for the last minute, I swear I've not tried to wait till the last minute, but here we are. Let's go. Boss 1-2. Not 1-3, 1-2. We're this far behind. Now, for me, I think the Memoria is going to make a huge difference here. Okay, so you'll notice a few things that are very familiar with this team. Number one, Haruhime in the front. I think her counter heal is just super important, and getting that 33% as a gauge charge is really super important. Number two, we've got somebody that actually gives us 100% elemental damage, and in this case, Ryu's actually our unit that's going to give us the plant killer skill. So, or I'm sorry, aqua killer skill. Plant killer's next. She's going to give us the aqua killer skill. Spoilers for the next video coming out. So she's going to have aqua killer skill. She's going to have the 100% dark attack damage. But I'm going to actually use Alan here, because Alan gets 80% per self agility buff skill. So for each agility buff he has, he's going to get 80% more damage. So basically he's going to come into the final SA with 120% strength and 100% magic damage. It's going to be really huge. Now, I haven't tried this doing multiple attacks, but every single time I've tried it before, basically it's come out that doing the quad SA has just been better. So I'm going to stick with that. We've come really close. Now, the two downsides here are Alan is not maxed, and I do not have him fully ascended. I don't think I even have enough hero lights to comfortably do that. I am sitting on 70, so maybe I want to see how far we get with this run. I could probably throw Prism Bond into him. I could probably throw, Max Ascend him, and this would do it. The other real downside is my assist here with Hermes. My Hermes assist is only +1. I don't have enough Prism Bonds to Max Ascend him tonight. So unfortunately, I've just got to kind of either hope for really good RNG and just run this over and over and over again, or maybe the Memoria, which I'll show you here in a moment, will actually pay out. So we're going to be Dark Resist down 15%, and that unfortunately will affect the outcome of this run. Plus, Alan is only +4 with 3-star Ascension, and really, if I can afford it, I don't want to spend any more hero lights, only because, quite frankly, I need those hero lights for the anniversary. I can't afford any more hero lights at this point. So, let's see what happens. But I didn't talk about Memoria in the last run, and I will definitely talk about Memoria this time around, okay? So I'm going to start with... This is not the Memoria that I said. Let's fix this real quick. So, first things first, we're going to do this one. So, all the team's strength +6 for turns 1 through 7. Okay, then we'll replace that with the newest Memoria that we received, strength +6 for turns 8 through 15. Now, basically, that means that we're going to have that +6 then on the SA turn. The reason that I'm thinking this might make a difference is because we have that, so everyone's physical on this team, okay? So if we have that strength +6 for all of our turns, we might be able to eke this out. I've been literally one turn shy every single time. So maybe if we have this, even through the SA, it might help. But also, we need some dark attack damage. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to grab the Fire, Earth, and Light. We want dark. So over there. All party Thunder dark attack damage 1 through 5. Now the downside is we don't have one that gives us dark attack damage at the end. But early dark attack damage, some is better than none. So we're going to utilize that Memoria. And I think the Memoria will really help us out on this. Now I've got to turn off auto battle here and make sure to do this right, because to get this run done is going to be pretty killer. So I'm going to kind of set myself up here for a moment for the best possible scenario and really kind of hope for the best reaction here. So we're going to do Dawn Wind with Haruhime, and I'm going to come out of the gate here with some pretty big hits. Now, Katori would have been a really important asset here. Actually, that's Toka, isn't it? Whatever. But what I'm really going to use her here for is her Dark Resist. I need that Dark Resist skill. So we're going to swap her out and only use her for Dark Resist skill. Okay? Now, Ryu's an interesting build. And honestly, with Ryu, the nice part is I can literally just spam her skill 2 and be good. I don't need her skill 3. Her skill 3 is way too MP expensive to utilize. So we're literally just going to use skill 2 from now till the end of the match. Basically until we get an essay, or a quad essay. So that's never going to change. Now, finally, with Alan, I'm going to go ahead and buff him up. That is going to mean we're doing skill 1 with him, and pretty much just doing his general buff stack. Now, this is an AoE fight. The last fight was a single target, so don't expect any single target attacks. Don't expect any of that. Alan, best I can tell, is the only dark unit that actually has a percentage boost on his SA. We'll get to that. We'll talk about that. If there is another one, I'm just not aware of it. I don't think there is. I've done a decent amount of research on this, but we are down to the wire, so I could have made a sloppy mistake on that. If I have, let me know in the comments. But I think he's the only one that gets a significant percentage boost, and we'll talk about that towards the end. So, as before, I've got to do Blowing Wind. Basically, Haruhime is going to run exactly like she ran in every other fight prior. So, we're going to do Blowing Wind to restore all of our debuffs. We're going to use, and actually I could have used Epimetheus here, but I'm going to use Aphrodite just because it's a pretty standard build at this point, right? So I'm going to use her for our AoE attack. Once again, she's going to do that, and then he's going to come in and do the physical resist down 40%, but that's also going to be his big AoE attack. So pretty standard, straightforward stuff. Like, there's no kind of magic or mystery in this build whatsoever. There we go. Moving on. Now, Argana comes in, and Argana is going to really kind of be, like, I don't want to say, like, the ground level support here, but she really is. She's going to be huge. Huge in us making it through this. So, more or less, just like before, we need to have our full SAH charge, so I'm going to go ahead and do Dawn Wind on this turn. I have kind of neglected a little bit before. I would actually go in and do Dawn Wind another turn. I'm going to, well, you know, it's actually been functional, so I'm going to do Night Storm in this turn. We'll do Dawn Wind next turn. It is going to negate her return, the 33% charge, but we've actually been good with that. So I'm going to do Night Storm, I'm going to get the healing out, I'm going to do all that, and then we'll give her the 33% next turn. What I am going to do, however, is I'm going to come in here with her All Allies buff, and that's basically going to give everyone a defensive buff and give her basically her big buff skill. So, once again, she's just going to spam that, and he's going to spam that basically until he has to rebuff. So we're pretty good here, right? Now, our opponents don't really remove buffs, they don't remove debuffs. They're pretty standard opponents. They're not groundbreaking. They're just really, really, really hardy opponents. I don't even think they hit particularly hard. At least thus far, they've not proven a sufficient threat. They're just, like, really, really, really HP heavy. So, when this turn, once again, we're going to come in, we're going to do Dawn Wind. Everybody's going to get their 33% SAH charge, including Argana, Argana, who's missing a last turn. She's going to come in and do her skill, too. And I won't need to rebuff his skill until next turn. So, pretty much, everyone's just kind of chugging along. So, what I need to pay close attention to here, though, is getting those counters. If we put too much defense on our units here, and if they don't actually take some damage, we might not actually be able to handle this. But the main thing that I really want to make sure is that we have physical resist down 35%, we have dark resist down 40%, and we have all unit resist down 35%. So physical down 40, dark down 40, AoE down 35. Perfect. We're right where we need to be. This is exactly what we're looking for. Okay, so we can go back and we can do Blowing Wind, make sure that all that stays in play. Let's see, she should be good. She's got 3 turns on that, so I don't think she'll need to rebuff until next turn. That said, Alan is running out of his extra skills, so we're going to go ahead and buff his. Pretty straightforward stuff. Like, there's really not any, you know, once again, magic or mystery to how this is run. It's kind of like how we run everything at this point. So everything's perfect here. By the end of next turn, by the end of turn 6, we'll have a triple SA. And once again, by the end of turn 8, we'll have a quad. That means going into turn 9, which is the turn we need to end it anyway, we're going to have a quad SA. That's where I'll kind of talk about some of the potential downfalls and some of the problems that I'm a little concerned about, but it is what it is. It's the team that I've got. And if I have to do modifications from here on to get my S clear, that's just on me. Now, you'll be able to take away all the skills out of this that you need in order to produce whatever results you can. Now, once again, and I don't think I really talked about it in the last video, but with this video, I do want to emphasize, you don't necessarily have to have these units. Maybe you've got better units. Maybe your units are lower level. You don't have to have the S clear on this. Basically, any unit you've got that's like +2/+3 should be able to survive this so long as you've got good defenses. The main thing is, I'm trying to kill these guys as fast as possible. If you're looking for some staying power, you can use some assists that give you, some kind of physical and magic defense. You could like put Artie on the front end or anybody else who does that. Give yourself some AoE damage, damage resistance, single target damage resistance, all of the above. Anything that drags the match out, you can go as many turns as you want. There's not a limit, as far as I'm aware at least, on the number of turns you can fight this. If you end this on turn 35, it's still a win. It'll probably be a B clear, but it's a win. And that's all you need to get the rewards. So don't get too bogged down in, oh my god, I've got to use maximum broken units. I'm even using units that are +4, even though I probably could max them out. I really kind of don't want to. I want to save. Because I kind of feel like most of these units are not going to be relevant in 6 months' time. I hate to say it, but that's just kind of how power creep goes in this game these days. So, for me, saving is paramount. Like, it's just super, super, super important. So, let's get back into it. So, Blowing Wind we're good on. We will need to do Dawn Wind again, so we're going to go ahead and rebuff that. We shouldn't need that at all now. So, we're going to go ahead and go back to skill 2 with her. He's with skill 2. So, yeah, we should be golden. So, we shouldn't need anybody else's... nobody else should need to rebuff their extra actions, basically, from this point on. And don't discount what those extra actions are worth. They might be piddly hits, but the honest answer is, with AoE fights, those are huge. Like, they could make a turn or two difference in the long run of your game. So, my opponents are almost down I'd love to say 50%. No, they're like 2/3 down. But remember, the last hit in the game is like the big one. That's the one we're really leading up to. So, we're going to go back here to Blowing Wind. We're going to go ahead and do skill 2 with everybody. At this point, we're just part of the course for the rest of this turn, and then our quad SA. So we want to take as much of their damage just out of them. We want to chip away their health as much as possible. I'll feel comfortable if they're 50%, but they're not. They're at like 65%. Though we'll say 8.5 million. We can calculate this pretty easily. So 8.5 million. Let's see what we do here, okay? So, remember, she doesn't do damage. She's just 120% strength and magic. Okay, so we're doing AoE and single target down 50%. We already have elemental damage down 40%. We don't really have that. I mean, we got 35%, but 50% is huge. 50% is 15% more. It's a big, big, big number. In fairness, we do have units in the game that will do elemental and physical resistance down 60%. That is 20% more. That would be huge. Unfortunately, I have not built that into my team. I'm using Argana instead. But the one unit that is completely mandatory in this team right here, allies, all units, all allies, dark attack damage 100% for 2 turns. Now, here's the deal. Normally, you'd put that earlier in the build, but only, and I will say only, because she has the killer skill, that I need to make sure that she's put basically as far back as humanly possible. Now, here's the deal. She will most likely be our biggest hitter. She'll be our DPS. She'll hit for like 3, maybe 3.5 mil. She's huge. She's insane. But don't knock Alan out of the picture yet. Because, let's talk about what he does. 80% per each self-agility buff skill. So, where does he have agility buffs? Well, he should have an agility buff. He has 75% agility buff on the adventurer side. And he's got a 10% agility buff on the assist side. That means he's going to get a 160% damage buff just for that. So he should hit pretty darn good as well. Don't know if it'll quite be the same, but I'm hoping for 2 to maybe 2.5 out of him. That might be presumptuous. I'm going to say I'll be ecstatic with 2. But let's math this out and see if we can get our 8.5 million. Okay? Remember, Haruhime's not, she doesn't do damage. She's really here just in the support capacity. Now, the other thing to bear in mind is when you do quad SAs, that adds up. It multiplies quickly. So we got like 1.1 mil. I think I saw one that was a little bit low, but I'm going to count that as 1.1 mil. Okay, Ryu. Ooh, 3.6. So we're 4.5. We need 4 mil to win this. That's the downside. I don't think Alan can pull that off. I think he's going to be like half that. 2.3 though. 2.3 is not bad. Here's the real downside. They're going to still have a turn's worth of health left. Here's where I kind of am going to have to bite the bullet here pretty soon. If I want to S-clear this, I am simply going to have to feed Alan. I realize there's no way around this now. We are 1 million shy. If Alan was Max the Broken, and if Alan was fully ascended, we'd have this in the bag. It would have been a done deal. There would be no questions, no nothing. Instead, this is going to be a turn 10, maybe even turn 11 finish. I just needed 1 million more damage, turn 10 finish. I just needed 1 million more damage. But the Memoria did make a difference. The Memoria made a huge difference in our numbers overall. So don't discount your Memoria. Make sure you pay close attention to that. I know I've been really bad about that in the past. But that's Boss 1-2. I'm going to bring you guys Boss 1-3 here shortly. I'm working on the teams for 1-4 and 1-5. I'll try to have at least 1-4 out. Maybe extremely late tonight. I'll have 1-5 for you guys probably in the morning. And we will get all the way up through 8 pretty soon. And I will discuss. I'll show you guys my best team. If I can't S-clear it, which I can't here, I'll come darn close and I'll show you guys like the best methodologies. But remember, if you want to build a team, Haruhime, someone that gives you a big defensive buff, those units are all going to be really, really good. I'm imagining, and I haven't come across any yet that I'm aware of, but I'm imagining there's going to be some units here that will remove buffs, remove debuffs. We've seen some remove debuffs, actually. Things like that, so be aware of those. But don't be afraid to throw units on your team that just extend the fight and just win it. A B clear is still a clear. All you got to do is defeat the foe. Doesn't matter if it's 9 turns or 97 turns. Like, comment, share, guys. I'll be back here for you with more of these boss battles. Not soon enough.